Good morning, church. Let's talk about Judges chapter 9. This is a long chapter, but it's a really interesting story. Lots of intrigue. You could easily turn this into a movie, I think. Um, in the previous chapter, Gideon dies. He's had 70 sons and one illegitimate son named Abimelech. So Abimelech goes to his hometown of Shechem. He knows that one of Gideon's sons, is likely to be made king after Gideon. And he knows that it's not going to be him because he was an illegitimate son. And so he comes up with this scheme. He plants it in the ears of his relatives. The 70 sons are going to fight amongst each other, or they'll rule together and it will be chaos, or you can have me, and we'll work together, we'll connive together to put me on the throne, and you'll be better off for it. And his family falls in line with him, and he hires these thugs to come and help him. And they go and they kill all of Gideon's sons, except one, Jotham. Jotham survives and he runs away, but Abimelech is made king. He's stolen it. He's taken the power for himself. He's clearly hungry for power, hungry for fame. This is what happens when you put that kind of leader in charge. Jotham tells this parable to set the people up for this is what to expect when this is the kind of guy who's in charge. He says, he uses a story about trees and who's in charge of the trees. Is it the olive tree, or is it the fig tree, or the vine? And all of these trees say, no, God has given me this lane and I'm going to stay in it because it's beautiful and sweet. And there's a blessing in it for me when I follow what God has designed me for. And they go to the bramble, and the bramble says, okay, if that's what you really want, then come on, but you're going to find your death here. And Jotham is saying, you've made your bet, you've chosen Abimelech, and if that's what God has designed, then great, you'll find all the blessing that's intended. But if this is truly coming from power and greed and thirst for your own glory, then you're going to reap from it the same kind of destruction. And so then the rest of the story is all about how people scheme against Abimelech, and there's division, and things get worse, and Abimelech turns out to be this bad guy, and so all the people of Shechem try to escape, and they run into this fortress, the Tower of Shechem, and then kind of exactly what happens in the parable happens in real life. Abimelech burns down the tower and kills 1,000 people, and it turns out that the people of Shechem get exactly, they reap what they sowed. It was a terrible thing, and this is what happens when you choose the kind of leaders that are looking out for themselves. And the people of Israel couldn't see it. They didn't understand because they had strayed from the study of the word of the Lord. They were doing what was right in their own eyes, and what was right led to their destruction. So when we stray from the word of the Lord, what we find is that our way is bound up in destruction. And Abimelech found that way himself. He was crushed by a millstone. The path of going your own way is not fruitful. So read the word of the Lord to follow it, not just for the sake of it. Read it to find a blessing.